There's a toilet. Ew.
Right now, the general VR marketplace is saturated with multiplayer team shooters and sandbox games, many of which are early access. This doesn't make them bad games, but it really injures my enthusiasm for playing VR. I'm not someone who can make my own fun over and over again. For me, I need some sort of progression, whether it be a goal to get to a boss, a story, or something similar. That means when it comes to the majority of popular VR games, I'm kind of at a loss. Then sometimes I find one that has solid, well-paced progression, but it's so short that I finish it in like 2 to 3 hours, or the mechanics are either dated or just not good. This isn't always the case though. Sometimes you can have the best of both worlds. Half-Life Alyx is a beautiful blend of great gameplay mechanics and a well-written, well-paced story, but it's only one game. So where are the others? They're hiding. Like this game, Vertigo 2. Notice that it is a sequel. I hadn't even heard of this until I saw a tweet or something in passing that mentioned it had just come out, saying it might even be better than Alyx. Now, I was skeptical of that fact, seeing as how polished that game is, and I still wouldn't necessarily say it's better, but it is comparable. I'm only a few chapters in, but this is exactly what I was hoping it was. Alright, enough waffling, let's get into it. Vertigo 2 is an indie, virtual reality first-person shooter. I want you to keep in mind that this game was, as far as I know, made by one person. There are very clear inspirations from the Half-Life series, and honestly to Valve's works as a whole, with quite a few references and jokes such as a crowbar almost being your first weapon, and a portal gun in a weapon testing room. Despite the very obvious influences, Vertigo 2 takes an exceedingly unique voice immediately. I'll go more in depth about this later, but every character and enemy I have encountered so far has felt so new and unique, and like a true representation of someone's vision. The setup for the gameplay is pretty similar to Half-Life Alyx. The movement is designed as dual locomotion and teleport, with the teleport acting as a sort of sprint and jump button. Weapons are selected through a hand menu by pressing the trackpad on the index, no clue what it would be on a Quest controller, sorry, and you don't drop them if you let go, so you can relax your hands a bit. Something that is more a general VR problem, but this game does suffer from, is the guns don't seem to be pointed where I feel like they would be. This isn't a criticism, just a note of something I'm having to get used to. The ammunition isn't collected by searching, but instead slowly replenishes itself in your inventory. For ease of use, there is an option in the settings for an auto reload, which I have off because I love to reload manually. There are also weapon mods to be found in the world in these interesting little suitcase things. They don't require any crafting materials or anything, but you only get one mod per case, so I guess I'm going to be searching for secrets. There's multiple mods for each gun that I imagine will keep the combat fresh. Early on, I discovered that there are phones you can pick up. When you do, its screen turns on and it becomes a camera with working front and back facing modes. And that's not even the best part. If you click the controller trigger while holding it, it actually takes a picture with it and saves it as a screenshot.
That's so cool. It's so cool.
The enemy design is strikingly unique, amazingly gross, and occasionally terrifying. Within the first chapter, I fought 4 different enemy types, each one with its own models, animations, movesets, and attacks. My favorite, and also least favorite, is this fucking gross-ass cube guy. Like, who in their right mind comes up with this? It's awesome! Also, none of them are super bullet spongy, so they're not annoying to fight. Keep in mind this is an indie game, so sacrifices have to be made somewhere, and I'm glad it was in the graphics. The visuals are not bad, I just want to make that clear. Besides, you can see what it looks like anyway. And more importantly, this is clearly the style the developer wants. But just to make sure we're on the same page, let's all say it together. The ability to have high poly counts is insignificant next to the power of an amazing and unique art style. I'm someone who believes video games can be and are art. And if you're using cookie cutter assets just so you have a game that looks as good as real life, you're kinda missing a big part of what makes game development so great. But the most important thing to me that this game nails is that there's actually a full fucking story. And so far, it's pretty damn good. The game opened with an actual cutscene, which by the way was fully 3D, and I'm also pretty sure it was real time, which in VR is actually a little crazy because it feels like I'm just watching a really good 3D movie. I can tell too that so much heart and soul was poured into the writing. It's creative, well written, intelligent, not too expository, and actually funny.
He knows we have to torture them to get them to communicate with us, right?
Yeah. It's a shame, too. Imagine what we could learn from them if they weren't so stubbornly aggressive.
I suppose. Torture works too, though, and it's fun to make organic beings suffer.
Oh my god.
No
What?
offense.
The story beats so far are both completely not serious, but also of the utmost importance to the characters we are dealing with, and it's just juggled so well. I can't wait to get further into the game and uncover the secrets of this weird hypercube thing the cutscene creatures are talking about.
Cube.
The audio is also superb. There's great music all around, especially in the menus and in combat. It does a good job of setting the mood. And maybe I'm misremembering, but this game struck me with how well it properly uses spatial audio with the index's surround sound. It's hard to put into words, but if a character was standing in front of me and speaking, it felt as if I was actually hearing it in front of me instead of through a pair of speakers. The video certainly also doesn't do it justice, so you'll just have to take my word for it. The gun sounds are alright. With the uniqueness, there's nothing much to compare it to, but I will say the shotgun isn't quite as punchy as I would like, but that's so minor I don't really care that much. The enemy sounds, however, are nothing short of fantastic. A couple final things. I really appreciate the level of accessibility settings there are. It covers everything that at least I needed to play as lefty without needing to change the controller config. There's also a good spectator mode for recording that actually allows you to slightly lower the graphics in headset for better picture while recording. All in all, this game really is something special, so if you're watching this far, please give some love to this game and the developer. I really want to see more from them, and I'm also super curious what they could do with a big budget. The link to the game's Steam page is in the description if you want to play it yourself. It is PC only though, so I'm very sorry Native Quest players, you're not going to be able to play it. And that's all I have for you today. If you enjoyed and want to see more, maybe hit that sub button, but I won't hold it against you if you don't. I do also have a Discord server, link is also down there in the description if you're interested, but again, no pressure. And with that, until we meet again, have a fantastic day.